Hello, everyone.
Hi, McCord.
Yeah,
Um,
and if you don't know what Mugcord is and you're somehow watching this video, which is not impossible, we're just gonna talk about the thing in the title. That's pretty
yeah,
much...
Gigak made an anime, bâan.
Yeah.
Um, Subtitle: The Boundary of Adulthood. That's the one. Um, Neither of us are Gigak watchers at all. God forbid. Um,
Now we don't... Okay, hold on. Like, we
I
don't...
should start off by being rude. No,
no.
Gigak's fine.
I think... I
But
want to
neither
be
of us are
clear.
Gigak watchers, like
I
facts.
know nothing about this gentleman, like, at
Yeah.
all. I don't really keep up with other anime critics very much, other than, like, a very small group of people. Um...
hmm
I
I just clarify that to say that we're not really aware of the development as such. I went
yeah,
through the comments on the video. A couple people, part of how they connected with it so much was following like the journey, hearing him talk about it on Trash Taste and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's not us.
Okay, I'm gonna tell
We
you.
just watched the thing and are gonna talk about
I'm
it.
gonna tell you how little I know about this man. I did not know he was one of the Trash Taste guys. So there you go. Um,
Well,
like I've heard of these two things separately and am vaguely aware of them by reputation, but I don't know much about either.
yeah.
Um,
No, that's fine.
all this just to explain why, like where we're coming from, because we're kind of just watching this as a short film, essentially, and trying to
Yeah.
evaluate it on its own merits. I thought
hmm
this was pretty solid.
I also thought it was just fine.
Okay. I think I'm a little more positive on it than you are, which is not rare for us
Yeah,
talking about a piece
potentially.
of media. Um,
Um,
I mean, anybody who's going to be watching this has seen it, so we don't need to recap the thing. But it's
yeah.
essentially you'd agree with me if I said it's essentially like a not a coming of age story, like a homecoming story, kind of.
Uh, like two different characters fly the nest, as it were.
Hmm.
um and it goes a little bit differently for both of them. And that is about the summation of the
Well,
film, to be fair.
yeah, like the
There's a little
twist,
more going on,
the
obviously. Yeah,
the twist,
you
such
know.
as it is, about halfway through, is that you find out that these stories are not occurring concurrently, and
Yeah,
the male lead Daiichi is the female lead Rinrada's like adoptive father, essentially.
yeah,
Um,
but
which is cool.
that's
It's a nice little twist. I thought that was
yeah.
nice. I before up to that point, I admit I was a little bit like, well, one of these is kind of interesting, which I think is Rinrada's story, which is essentially like, what if this like fairy elf kind of person tried to make it as an independent like person living on her own in an ordinary big city?
Yeah.
Whereas Daiichi's story is a lot more guy goes to isekai world,
Yeah.
which is
um,
fine. I will say I did not know going in that this was that, um, but I will say I think, to be maybe exceedingly kind to this movie, short film, whatever we want to call it. Uh, I think if you compare this to most recent Naruto adaptations, it is better than a lot of those.
oh yeah,
Certainly.
like
Um, like, I mean, if you compare this to, like, just to name an example that I know we've both seen at least a little bit of, Water Magician or something, like, this blows that out of the fucking
yeah,
water.
yeah,
That joke
like
wasn't intentional. um,
no, I
but
agree. It's certainly,
it it does also feel very, like, I got kind of like a Mamoru Hosoda-ness off of it. Did you get that?
I haven't actually ever seen a Hosta thing,
I
impressively.
That's
Um,
fair. Um, it was just in a more general sense, like kind of a. This feels like it was made by someone who's seen a lot of anime movies from the past 10 years. Which I don't mean that as an insult or a compliment, but I
I
feel
should
like the
imagine it's true, to be fair.
yeah, I feel like the influences are pretty like they shine through pretty strongly, which is again not a good or a bad thing, just kind of a thing. Um,
Yeah.
what did you think of the short, like overall? Like I would like to just hear
Like,
your thoughts.
to kind of just go over it almost in, like, I guess just the order as you're watching it, I had that same reaction with as you in that, okay, they're doing these things concurrently. I don't really care about Daichi.
Hmm.
I don't so much care about Rin, but she's cute, and this is a more like interesting setup, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's
I have
fair.
seen guys end up in fantasy worlds too many times to automatically be intrigued with as little depiction of the actual lifestyle there as we are given. Cute elf girl becomes like a call center lady,
Yeah,
um, and gets like stressed, blows something up. That's nice, you know.
yeah.
Um, you get your big sort of twist moment. It's like, oh yeah, that was neat.
Hmm.
Um, I do. I kind of like the sequence with the dragon sort of shedding and then sort of asexually reproducing slash
Yeah,
dying.
yeah. No, I think
Um,
that's easily like the highlight of the movie. That and
mhm,
like one sequence a bit later.
yeah. Um, oh, I did also like the like rice offerings on top of the just kind of like shrine pedestals around the houses in that fantasy world. The rice, like, kind of magically flying up into the sky, that was actually neat. That's like oh,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
kind of cool and unique. Um, but past that point, I kind of, you know,
No, that's fair. I
the rest of it is like, yeah, okay, this is fine. I know what it's doing. One character left home, and it was a good decision for him. Another character left home, it didn't really work for her. She goes
yeah,
back to her home, which first guy's home. It's poetry, it rhymes,
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, this is perfectly functional. The music is great throughout. That's actually
yeah.
my like favorite thing
Well,
about it.
I saw Kevin Pankin in the credits, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, the the operative word I would use is sweet. Like it's a
Yeah,
nice little heartwarming story.
yeah.
Um,
It's the type of thing I don't like relate to either character, so my like personal investment isn't really there as such. But
yeah, no, me
I'm a
neither.
human being. I don't need to relate to a thing
Yeah,
to appreciate what it's doing.
no, that's completely
Um,
fair. I
yeah,
I did have a moment where I was like, I might have liked it a little more if we had gotten to either see more of Rin's struggles in the human world, so to speak, or if she
yeah,
had stayed. I think that it because like okay, obviously if you did that, it would be a completely different movie. I understand that.
yeah.
I don't think this current setup is bad. I will say what kind of disengages me from a lot of isekai, especially Naruke, which is this is not an example of, but I mean we compared it to those adaptations earlier, so I'm going off of that previous comparison. Um, is that they often feel very like cynical about the real world in a way that I think is kind of boring. Uh, and this has a little bit of that on it, not a lot, but like you know, what is
To be
what does the
fair,
fantasy world have? A bunch of like cool dragon rituals and shit. What does the real world have? Call centers. Like I don't know. It that left
to be
me a
fair,
little unsatisfied. I don't know.
the Rin's sort of mother figure,
Yeah.
um, she does choose to stay in the human world at least.
Yeah.
So I don't
No.
think they want to.
That's why this is, in my opinion, kind of like a minor complaint as opposed to
Yeah.
it makes the whole thing bad, which I don't
Hmm.
think is true. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just I don't know,
Yeah.
interesting.
Honestly, I almost don't have much more to say about it than that. I
Um,
it
I
was.
have a couple more thoughts if we want to
I
go
mean,
into some other stuff, but if you have anything
one
else,
other
for
quick
sure.
thing I have is part of like the description of the shore. I think its initial trailer and stuff. It aspects of the aesthetic and some of the cultural components are inspired by just various regions of Southeast Asia.
Hmm.
Um, but in lacking the exact cultural context there, yeah, I don't get to look at the buildings and like pog at the screens. It's like, yo, that roof is the same thing that they have in Singapore or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
did note when I was reading about him very briefly before we started recording this that Giga is of Thai descent, so that might be a reference point here. I admit that I'm
yeah,
also
they
not well educated on Southeast Asia, which
no,
is my own fault, of course. But
me neither. Admittedly, though, I don't actually know how much that component influences the
yeah,
narrative here.
I don't either.
I think it's more an aesthetic
Yeah,
consideration for the fantasy world,
the
which is valid.
yeah, no, absolutely. The parts that
Frankly,
stood
Southeast
out to
Asia
me,
is a lot more unique and interesting to see depicted in this type of work than your usual place Europe.
yeah,
History.
absolutely. Like let's not put too fine a point on it. Like, yeah, um,
Yeah,
honestly, anything different from the norm in that aspect is good.
I
Um,
don't want to make too much of this. Like, yeah, this is way better than the mid isekai crap that gets pumped out
I
every
mean, it
season.
is.
What that is true. It's just not necessarily the angle I want to be approaching this from,
Fair.
but also ostensibly, Gigak loves talking about mid isekai crap. So I've heard. So his comments imply.
Fair.
Um, so in that sense, I think he invited it himself. Except he invited it himself in a way that makes his work and the people he got on it look better than
Yeah.
the.
Yeah. No, I
the
like
hold on.
if a goal here was to make something better than that, I think mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I, it, I do think because of the short format, and I am not somebody who dislikes short media in general. Um,
Yeah.
I do think the format, like you could easily flesh this out a little more into like a longer movie or like a couple episode miniseries, and I think it would maybe have benefited from that. I'm not sure. Like,
I don't strictly mind though. Um.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I the other thing that I wanted to just put out there is a lot of times when um people based in the West, which I'm putting very big quote marks around on purpose, try to make something and they say that it's anime, you can very obviously tell that it's not. um,
Yeah.
you know, I don't like to get hung up on this stuff because a lot of the people who uh, share my general take on this topic, which is that I mostly prefer to apply the term anime to things from East Asia, are unfortunately chuds, and I don't. You got to do the fucking Mr. Incredible thing, like you are not affiliated with me, blah blah blah. Um, but I bring all this up to say I didn't get that off of this at all, which I think is probably because a bunch of actual like anime staff was involved. I saw Pine Jam worked on this, like fucking the the do-it-yourself studio among a number of other shows. Uh, so I mean that's a positive in my opinion because it is nice to see something like this that actually kind of meets its main creative goal.
Slight stitch, by the way, 'cause apparently I was dying.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I was
Recording
saying with
issues.
regards to, looking and feeling like an anime, the director Yoshimitsu Ohashi has been in the industry for a long time and has, quite a few
Mhm.
credits to his name. Um, Most recently, aside from this, the newest Code Geass thing, Rose the Recaps.
Oh, hey, I've seen and liked that.
Yeah, director, storyboard credits for a bunch of the things, and he's been all over the place.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and Hatchin.
Yeah.
Storyboard credits. More storyboard than directing, but there's also a lot of directing in it.
And I will say this is like well directed, so
yeah,
good for him. I bring all this up mostly to be like, it's nice that it's not like amateur hour, which I think maybe people who don't like Gigguk were kind of expecting when this got announced.
Like my obviously my actual like persona is such that haha, AniTuber is bad or whatever, and automatically make fun of them and their opinions. Although for the most part, I do actually think a lot of the popular AniTubers are actually like relatively respectable within their fields. They generally do actually, hold the medium in more serious contemplation, as much as that's a sentence that makes sense, than their videos imply. I mean, it's kind of the typical thing. Their videos, to an extent, need to appeal to wider audiences.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is not us talking about Gigguk specifically, but you do run into the thing where it's like somebody makes like a, this like well thought out 20-minute video about fucking, I don't know, the compositing in Demon Slayer or something. And they have to give it like a clickbaity title and thumbnail because otherwise nobody will watch it. And I understand all that. That is why I don't really make videos. I mostly stick to writing.
Where I was going with that though was
but
with the type of content that Gigguk at least made when I was watching AniTubers, of course there's a degree to which I feel compelled automatically to like make fun of him, But like I watched this and I was like, you know what, Gigguk, you had a vision, you saw it through, you actually got like a team to see it through onto a very professional standard. Yeah. And I can respect that.
It is weird to be coming from this at like kind of an outside angle, because I feel like people who like and watch Gigguk are inclined to want this to succeed because it's like, oh, that's like our guy, like getting there. And if people who don't like Gigguk or just don't like AniTubers in general are maybe inclined to want to see it fail because you're crossing the critic artist barrier. That's embarrassing. There's a very crabs in a bucket mentality with this thing sometimes. But no, I honestly thought it was pretty good. I haven't scored it yet on Analyst, but I'm probably going to give it like a 6 or a 7. I thought it was nice.
Yeah, that's fair. I, for the record, did score it. I did give it a 5.
You score low across the board.
I did. Yeah. It was genuinely fine. I have nothing especially negative to say about this other than parts of it being boring.
Okay, now hold on. You haven't said that at this, like, we've been recording for like 20 minutes.
That's kind of what I meant about, like, fucking, like Daichi's intro.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not, like, okay, the things this did are nice, but ultimately I don't necessarily think they're that inspired, which is why I'm not like, this, like, life-changing thing. But also, maybe that would change if I had related more to the setup.
Yeah.
Or if I was more invested in Gigguk as a creator. Again, I read a fair amount of the comments. There were people that had like been following the project as it was spoken about in Gigguk's other social circles, and if you followed like parts of his life enough, then you can see the ways in which it inspires.
Yeah, that's like a whole other
at play here.
Other ballgame.
I am not that guy though.
Yeah.
It's not that stuff isn't worthy of respect. It's that I just don't know it, so I can't even value it.
I do think it says something though that even we who don't really follow this guy are like, that was good.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of the thesis statement.
It was pretty good.
This was. There are a lot of interesting things in the short film anime world, and
Yeah.
I recommend to the viewing audience of this video in general just to seek more if you find any.
Yeah, go watch
Or
Puppet
like
Princess or something. That'll give you something to think about.
For me, it's Piano Man.
Fuck yeah, Piano Man.
Yeah, I finally showed Piano Man in a Mugcast video. But no, good shit.
Yeah.
Ish. Fine shit. Fine. Decent.
I feel like we're overqualifying. It was pretty good.
Yeah, well done.
Goodbye,
Oh, by the
everybody.
way, we watched it Japanese with English subtitles, if that matters to anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. He was calling it an anime. That seemed like the right thing to do. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Thanks
the
for
video.
watching. Subscriber will kill Giguk.